Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Raymore City Council regular meeting for Monday, November the 14th, 2022. I'll call the meeting to order and ask for a roll call, please.
Councilmember Abdelgawad.
Here.
Councilmember Barber.
Present.
Councilmember Berenson.
Present.
Councilmember Burke.
Present.
Councilmember Forster. Councilmember Holman.
Present.
Councilmember Townsend.
Present.
Councilmember Wills.
Present.
Mayor Turnbow.
Present. We have a quorum. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you. We have no presentations and awards this evening or personal appearances scheduled, so we'll move on to staff reports. Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd call on Mr. Grass to make a staff report for development services.
Okay.
Sort of.
Thank you, sir. A brief report for the council tonight. I did want to highlight a couple things that eventually probably will not make it to the council in terms of current projects, but they're worthy of noting to you all at this point. To start with, a couple of those, Building 3 and Building 2 within the Raymore Commerce Center both achieved substantial completion within the month of October. Building 3 received its certificate of occupancy in the middle of last month, and then we're working towards the certificate of occupancy for Building number 2 here this month. I wanted to highlight that because this week we have 2 site visits scheduled, one for each of those buildings with a pretty promising tenant. So Mr. Keller and I and the Van Trust team will be out there, followed by a meeting downtown with KCADC and their staff. So some promising prospects for both of those sites here this month and last. Very exciting. Earlier last month, we met with the Johnny's Tavern construction crew across the street. They're moving along ahead of schedule. They anticipate having their building completed by the end of this month or the first week of December, but due to the holidays, they won't start opening until January, or the first of the year, just to get through the holidays. But they are ahead of schedule now. They're able to catch up and get quite a bit of work done on the interior of that building, which is really exciting. And then 2 projects, like I said, that won't make their way to the council. You may have already driven past them in the community, but the property at 701 East Walnut, which is the former Heartland Tile and Stone, or adjacent to that, that tenant left the building earlier, about 2 months ago, and a permit was filed for what will be a future Blush boot camp. It's a women's fitness gym, essentially. So they're hard at work on the inside of that building. They've done a lot of work on the outside of it already, which looks very nice. And then the other one would be 824 West Foxwood Drive, which is the former 9 Round, which was across the street here at Price Chopper. There's a tenant working in that space right now, which will be a business called Radiant Selfie Studio. It's like a new age photography studio, you could say. So they're building out a couple different booths within that small tenant space in that shopping center, which would be really exciting. And I think they intend to open here towards the end of this month. So some exciting projects. Like I said, I wanted to make sure the council was aware of those since they will not come back to P&Z or the council for any type of review or approvals. That will conclude staff report.
Thank you, Mr. Gress. Any questions, Mr. Gress? Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, sir. I would call on the chief.
The police department, November 5th, we did our partnership with Creekmore Property Owners Association for the neighborhood vehicle inspections. It went well. We did 30 inspections. I think we only pushed 2 or 3 away, so they're making the repairs and they'll come back. Also, we put information out that future inspections, folks can contact our community outreach officer, Officer Burns, and schedule an inspection appointment. And then we'll have individuals on each shift, one individual at least on each shift that's capable of doing the inspections. So we were excited to kick that off. Our second item, my only second item, is obviously everybody has seen that some of us are growing beards. We all had to pay hard money for those beards. So we have started the nose shaving for kids campaign for Shop with a Cop. We already have a date for that, which is going to be December 8th. I typically go with the 3rd week in December. However, we're still anticipating Whataburger opening that 3rd week. So we're all excited about Shop with the Cop, and we're ready to go.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Any questions of the Chief? Mr. Fearborn.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just a reminder to the council that next Monday night, we do have a work session scheduled. Currently, there are 2 items on the agenda. The first one is to discuss with the council some staff ideas concerning universal housing here in Raymore. And the second one is we would like to be making a comprehensive report to the council with the passage of the recent marijuana legislation for the state of Missouri. That concludes staff reports.
Thank you, sir. Any questions of Mr. Fearborn? Hearing none, we'll move on. We have, under the consent agenda this evening, we have only the one item, the city council minutes for October the 24th, 2022. I'd entertain a motion to dispose of that item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend.
move that we approve consent agenda item A, city council minutes for October 24th, 2022.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir, I'll second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Any further discussion? All those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. We'll move on to unfinished business now. Could I please have the second reading of Bill 3751 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3751 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with T.C. Fuller Construction, LLC for the Country Lane Storm Inlet Rehabilitation Project, City Project Number 22-410-201, in the amount of $35,000, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you. If there aren't no further questions on this item, I entertain a motion to dispose of it.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend.
move that we approve the second reading of Bill 3751, award of contract Country Lane Storm Inlet Rehab.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3751. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Can I please have the second reading of Bill 3754 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3754 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Terry Snelling Construction for the 2022 Sidewalk Gap Project, City Project Number 22-412-201, in the amount of $92,742.50, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you. Are there any questions about this item? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend.
I move that we approve the second reading of Bill 3754, award of contract for the 2022 sidewalk program.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3754. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Can I please have the second reading of Bill 3755 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3755 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with T.C. Fuller Construction, LLC for the Bridge Culvert Cleaning and Repairs Project, City Project Number 22-411-201, in the amount of $75,589, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you. Are any questions on this item? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend.
move that we approve Bill 3755, award of contract for the bridge/culvert cleaning and repairs.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yes, sir, I will second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3755. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Can I please have the second reading of Bill 3756 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3756 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Terry Snelling Construction for the curb ramp repair project, city project number 22-413-201, in the amount of $50,000, and authorizing the city manager to approve change orders within established budget constraints.
Thank you. If there are no further questions on this item, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of it.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend?
I move that we approve Bill 3756, award of contract for the curb ramp repair.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3756. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Can I please have the second reading of Bill 3757 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3757 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri amending the fiscal year 2022 operating budget, approving and authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract to purchase property located at 216 South Adams in the amount of $85,000.
Thank you. If there are no further questions on this item, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of it.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend?
I move that we approve the second reading of Bill 3757, budget amendment and purchase of the 216 South Adams Street.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir. I will second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3757. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. Can I please have the second reading of Bill 3758 by title only?
The second reading of Bill 3758 by title only, an ordinance of the City of Raymore, Missouri, directing the city manager to initiate the procedures required pursuant to Chapter 523 of the revised statutes of Missouri for the acquisition of all necessary rights-of-way, temporary easements, and permanent easements to complete the extension of Sunset Lane.
Thank you. Are there any questions on this item? If there are none, I'd entertain a motion to dispose of this item.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend?
I move that we approve the second reading of Bill 3758, Sunset Lane eminent domain property acquisition.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
Yes, sir. I will second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the second reading of Bill 3758. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion? Motion carries unanimously, 7-0. That concludes old business. We don't have any new business on the agenda this evening. That moves us to the public comment section. If anyone from the public would like to address the council at this time, please step forward, state your name and address for the record. Try to keep your comments to 5 minutes or less. Seeing no one come forward, we'll move on to the mayor-council communication this evening. And I will start with Ms. Abdelgawad. We'll start with you this evening. How's that?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll just be brief. I have to share, because I do every year, that the whole beard thing, not a fan. But Shop with a Cop is a great program. It's worth it to be able to support the kids in this city who just need a little extra something at Christmas. And more than that, it gives our police officers a chance to spend some time with those kids who, you know, maybe have had bad experiences with police officers, or maybe not, but they get to spend some time with the kids and get to be seen as a real person, not just the mean guy behind the badge or the mean gal behind the badge. And so it's such an important program. Just offering Chief a chance to share, if anyone wants to support that project, the officers support it by donating so that they can not shave for November and December this year.
Yes.
And then community members can also make donations to help buy gifts when they're shopping. And how do people do that?
They can go to the City of Raymore's website, go to the police department, and scroll down to the area where they see Shop with a Cop, and there's just an online portal that you can get in there and donate if you choose to.
And if they do, they should say Captain Abdelgawad is who they're donating. He might have paid me a little money to say that. But I believe there also was a Facebook post recently. Does that have a link to a donation thing as well?
One of our
See
officers,
Melissa nodding.
well, one of our officers tried to use that earlier this evening, and it didn't get through, so I got to check with Melissa to make sure it's working. So
Okay, she's probably on it right now. Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Wells?
Thank you, sir. I do not have any comments tonight.
All right. And Mr. Townsend?
Thank you, sir. I do not have any comments either this evening.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Berenson?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I agree with my contemporaries, Wells and Townsend.
Okay. And Mr. Barber?
Thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to reach out and thank the Mr. Fairborn and his staff for putting the stakeholders meeting together to discuss the potential landfill. I know it was a lot of hard work, and there's continuing to be a lot of hard work. Mr. Zur, Mayor, and Mr. Fairborn did an excellent job in communicating today, and thank you for doing that.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Mr. Burke?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Wanted to thank, I'm sure there are drivers pre-treating the roads or have been all day long, so I want to thank them. I'm sure they're going to be, maybe hopefully have time to run and get a nap and then spend all night driving or whenever they are deployed. So I want to thank them because I know they're going to be tired for the rest of the week, so hopefully later Thursday and Friday there will be less to do. Also, I want to remind Dr. Schlegel, my daughter Judy has never driven in the snow, so that's something to think about. Thanks.
And Mr. Holman?
Thank you, Your Honor. I have but one thing. So as we all watch the weather forecast, since we were coming in tonight, everybody's filled with dread and trepidation about the first snowfall of the season. And staff is no different, even though they deal with this every year. I heard our department heads, including our city manager, razzing the public works director about the predictions on whether this would start with rain or snow. So to quote a line from Apollo 13, to the contrary, sir, I believe this will be our finest hour. Your department outdoes everyone around. The roads here in town look fantastic. When your crews get out there, you have nothing to worry about, sir. That's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. And I'll end with what Mr. Barber touched on a little bit, and that was the stakeholders meeting today to discuss the unspoken landfill project that we've learned about that's going to occur to our north, or at least we've heard plans of moving forward. We still have had little contact from the city of Kansas City. We have been able to locate an attorney that is aware of the project, and if you get a chance, I believe, Melissa, will we have something posted about the stakeholder meeting, or is it already there? It's already there. If you get a chance, check it out online. A lot of great information was put together by the team. Mr. Zur, Mr. Fearborn, Mr. Murdoch, and Ms. Harmer have all been working feverishly on this and spending a lot of investigative efforts to get to the bottom of it, and hopefully we will get to the bottom of it and have a great conversation with the parties involved in the very near future. So more to come on that, and hopefully that'll have a positive outcome for everyone. And that's all I have this evening. If there's no reason to move into executive session, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Townsend?
I move that we adjourn from the regular city council meeting for November the 14th.
Thank you, sir. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Holman. Motion has been made and seconded to adjourn from the Monday, November 14th, 2022 meeting. All those in favor?